Hey, shalom, shalom, Yeshua Allah and world. I'm Brother Ezekiel.
I'm Brother Javier.
And we are back at it on part, is this 3?
Part 3.
Yeah, part 3. It's like it, y'all. Basically, on part 3 of Ahia's, the Most High's love versus hippie love. And basically, we left off last week at Genesis 31, verse 43. We're starting today at verse 44. And just to, sum it up a little bit, we just shown and prove how we're supposed to fulfill the law of loving thy neighbor as thyself. And before that, showing the love and loving the Most High according to his word. Not based off of our own, what we think love is or how we should feel love is and everything. Because, like I said, we start leaning to our own understanding with that when we have this book on how to love. Okay? Because they like to use that definition, define love. Love has no definition to it or whatever. Well, according to the Bible, it does. So, but anyways, so basically, Jacob is going through this whole issue with his father-in-law over him always changing up the deal or changing up the agreement that he had with Jacob, our forefather and things, and he's been changing it, and right to the point is really, pissing off Jacob because he's starting to wrath. It's getting to that point, and he's lying. His father-in-law is lying on him and all these different things and causing all this hell with him and things, and basically. It's got to the point where, he's trying to give him chances after chances after chances after chances after chances. Okay, this is where when the Mashiach said about forgiving seven times 77. Okay, but that doesn't mean keep on to the point where, if they're not going to change, you got to cut them people loose. Okay, and that's a known fact when the Mashiach, we'll get that a little bit later. But anyways, let's finish this up, and then I'm going to jump to this law that was already created in the book of Genesis before Moshe was even thought of, okay? But let's go ahead. Let's start at verse 44.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 44. Now therefore, come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone, and set it upon for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jegar Sedutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, The Lord watch between me and thee, which we are absent one from another.
So stop right there. This just shows and proves in the law. It tells you in the law, 2 or more witnesses, let everything be established. Okay? So obviously we see here that there was 2 or more witnesses. There was Jacob, there was Laban, and then there was the rest of the brethren that was there who ate upon that heap of stones as it was set up for a pillar, and that's the promise that Laban and Jacob made between each other. Okay, that's the covenant. That's the word covenant means promise. Okay, so now you have witnesses. Before he didn't have witnesses. This is why he kept changing, his agreement with Jacob and stuff, because they didn't have no witnesses. This is why when you do business and things, you need witnesses. You need written down stuff. You got to write stuff down. You need contracts. Hold people reliable to it, because now you're putting them on a thing. If they're not upholding the contract, here's the penalties that come with it.
They're accountable for.
Yep, there you go. So total, and that's what the Most High is looking for. He's made contracts with us. Okay, so like I said before, in the book of Genesis, all the laws are there before even Moshe came on the scene. Okay, so we could stop saying, Christ, Most High's commandments versus Moshe's laws. No, these were already created in here, okay? So, anywho, but continue out.
Verse 50, If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters, no man is which with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned into his place.
So, now, finally, everything was done and taken care of. And this time, like I said, now, why pretty much logically why he departed, with no problems, no issues, is because you had the witnesses there. Okay? So now it's shown and prove here that this is the reason why you need these things in place. But also, this is why when you make your promise with somebody, with some individual, saying you're going to do something, okay, which they call in the world integrity, keeping your integrity, which is your word, then you're held accountable for it. But if you don't have no witnesses to see this to hold you also accountable, then they could do whatever they want and get away with it. Okay, so this is why we need stuff written, documentations. No matter if it is your brethren, if it's other Israelites, you need to write. We all need to write this stuff down. I've been guilty of that myself. Okay, so and just to show and prove, this is where how Jacob kept his cool or didn't get to that point where he was ready to wrath. Let's get a law real quick. Go to Exodus 21 and verse 15. Because we read earlier, last part, talking about how, parents or fathers don't suffer your kids to wrath. You know what I'm saying? Don't cause them to wrath. Otherwise, they'll be discouraged and stuff, okay? They're not going to want to listen to you and do all these things. That's why I said the Most High said He's kept us and He gave us His word and stuff. But if He didn't keep His word, then who's going to want to serve this God? You see what I'm saying? So that's why He's so, focused and so, strict about His word and everything. Because He has to also keep it Himself. You dig? So Exodus, what did I say, 21, 15? Go ahead and pull it out.
Exodus chapter 21, verse 15. And he that smitteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death.
So this is a law. He that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. So right there, if you even want to raise your hand, despite the fact that that was Jacob's father-in-law, it's still his father in a sense because he's married to his daughters and things. So you must respect both sides on the parents, okay? So this is why Jacob was going to the point where he was going, because his father-in-law kept changing it. But the spirit that Jacob had on him obviously is showing and prove that he wasn't going to hit him. Anybody else probably in this day and age, as we see children beating their parents left and right. Okay? So, just backing that up and everything and just showing and prove that. But, say what? No, we're done with Genesis. Okay. But basically, let me back this up. Go to, remember I was talking about the two witnesses. As a matter of fact, let's get that law real quick. 2 or more witnesses, let everything be established. So, one second, y'all. Anybody want to say anything?
Shalom, y'all.
Witnesses. Salakia, y'all. 1 second. Go to 2 Corinthians 13:1, but I want it in the law though.
I look for it while
Get 19 Deuteronomy 19 and 15, and then you get first or 2 Corinthians. Um, 13 and start at verse 1.
Second Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1. This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. I told you before, and foretell you, as if I were present the second time, and being absent now, I write to.
No, that's it on that. Just that's all I wanted. I'm sorry, Salakia. So 2 or more witnesses shall every word be established. So let's go back to the law. Deuteronomy 19 and 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, and any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of the 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established.
Keep reading.
If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Most High, before the priests and the judges, and which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisitions, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he has thought to have done unto his brother. Shall not thou put the evil away from among you? And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
So there's a law right there. So just showing and prove that this is why things needed to be established with 2 or more witnesses. That's why, as we saw in the learning sequence with Laban and Jacob, Laban has changed his word with his agreement with Jacob more than 10 times. Okay? So this is why we're showing to prove that those laws were already created in Genesis before Exodus, before Leviticus, before Numbers, before Deuteronomy. So just showing and prove that was the leeway of everything needs, that was going to be established. Okay, so all this is right there in the book of Genesis. But you can't pinpoint these things if you haven't read the Torah first. That's why I tell everybody, or try to advise people, when you're reading the scriptures, before you even touch the whole book, start from Exodus chapter 20, so you understand what all the laws will be. Okay, all the commandments. Okay, the statutes. So you can have this understanding. So then when you read the rest of the book, and you go back to Genesis and you read, you're like, dang, this is what this was established for. This is what this was for. This is what that was for, and so forth and so on. Now you see the reverse play when the prophets were there. They were going through. They were seeing what the Israelites were doing. Were going backwards of what was happening in Genesis. Okay, they had the law, statute, and commandments. They didn't have to figure this out, but they were breaking it on purpose anyways. Okay, it's different when you don't know, or you're first experiencing this, and it's going through these stages and stuff for you to get understanding, or your growing pains, as they would say, to know what's right from wrong. Okay, but after what had happened through Egypt and so forth and so on until modern day today, there should be no excuses. Okay.
Can you tell me what that was in Genesis? The precept for this one?
What was it? Genesis 31, chapter 31. You'll start seeing all that. I think it started Well, if you read that whole one all the way down, but I think we started at 44 or 45.
Okay. So you're precepting those three, right?
Yeah. So what was that? Colossians.
Yeah.
And then
Corinthians was.
Or 2 Corinthians 13:1, and then Deuteronomy 19:15 on down, which is the law. So yeah. But anywho, so just bringing this out and just showing to prove like this is, especially when we're teaching and stuff, you have to have the law backing up everything you're talking about. Okay, if you're going to create, like I said before, doctrines out there and you don't back it up with no laws at all, with no context or no understanding, it's flawed. Okay, and you're just doing it for self gain. It ain't for the Most High. All right, but anyways. We were just at, what was it, 2 Corinthians
13.
Yeah. Okay, now let's go back to the Mashiach. Okay, let's go to Luke chapter 10 and verse 1 through 12. So why it's important to have 2 or more witnesses show and prove, and then also, this is showing that you have love for one another, because we ain't getting off the topic of love. Okay, we're just showing to prove how Jacob loved his father-in-law, that he didn't put hands on him and things like that because of what he was doing. So they finally settled it, and they need 2 or more witnesses. Okay? So just show and prove that's still having love for somebody, and respect for somebody. Okay? So otherwise he could have put hands on him. Anyways, so Luke 10, start at verse 1, Aki.
Yeah. Luke 10, verse 1. After these things, Most High appointed other 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place, whither he himself would come. Therefore said he unto them, The harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Most High of the harvest, that we would send forth laborers into his harvest. Go your ways, behold, I send you forth as lambs among wolves.
So we see, as far as this being said, so the Mashiach is saying here, sending it by 2s, because you still have 2s. Once again, you got witnesses, and also your brother is backing you up, so you don't feel like you're alone. Okay? So, obviously, a lot of our people need 2 or more people with them and things. All right? But anyways, continue on.
Carry neither purse nor scrip,
Which is a staff. Go ahead.
Nor shoes, and salute no man by the way. And into whatsoever house ye enter, first say, Peace be to this house. And if the Son of the peace be there, your peace shall rest upon it. If not, it shall turn to you again. And in the same house remain, eating and drinking such things as they give. For the laborer is worthy of his hire. Go not from house to house, and into whatsoever city ye enter, and they receive you. Eat such things as are set before you.
And that doesn't mean if they set abominations in front of you to mess up the dietary laws. That does not give you a freebie or something to go, oh, well, he gave me a piece of pork, we're supposed to receive it. No. And remember what city that they're in. They're in Israel. Okay? These are Israelites they're talking to, not Gentiles. All right?
So they know the law.
Right. So they know the law. So they're not feeding them some pork, shrimp, lobster, crab, camel hump, snake, llama,
Golden corral food.
Right. So just show it and prove there. Like, my Christian friends, y'all got to stop that. That's not what it means. Okay? But go ahead, Ak.
Verse 9. And heal the sick that are therein, and say unto them, The kingdom of God is come nigh unto you. But into whatsoever city ye enter, and they receive you not, go your ways, go out into the streets of the same, and say, Even the very dust of your city, which cleaveth on us, we do wipe off against you. Notwithstanding, be ye sure of this, that the kingdom of God is come nigh unto you. But I say unto you, that it shall be more tolerable in that day for Sodom than for that city.
See, so he's telling you, if you was in Sodom and Gomorrah when that was happening, that was more of a cakewalk. And now, what's happening now? If you didn't receive this, then it's going to be way worse than what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? So, just showing and prove that the love that these men have, not only for the Most High and for the King, the Mashiach, but also for our brothers and sisters out there as well. So that's why they sacrificed everything they had and went into the city. They didn't need no staff. They didn't need no purse, no money, no food, no water. They went in there, and if they accepted them in there, that's what they all had. And it says, do not go house to house. Okay? So for all y'all that's trying to do Jehovah's Witness and all this other stuff, Mormons and so forth and so on, going house to house to house, it's right here in the scripts. They're going against everything that even the Mashiach himself told you not to do. Okay? Reside in that house. Okay? Wherever you're at. Not a building. Okay? Reside in that house with those people. Okay? You're not going to catch everybody once again. And shows and prove too that small individuals you're responsible for. Not millions of people and thousands of people and stuff. Nah. You ain't even on that level to deal with that type of magnitude, because I see it happen. I bear witness to what happens. People uphold you as being some god or a new idol and stuff, and pedestal you. So when it comes time that they have issues they need to talk to you about, you can't deal with them because you send other people to deal with them. When they don't want to talk to them, they're listening to you. So now it's a headache for you. It's a hassle. You can't handle that. Okay? So, anyways, I get into another lesson with that. But continue out.
Woe unto thee, Chorazin, woe unto thee, Bethsaida, for it the mighty works had been done in Tyre and Sidon, which have been done in you. They had a great while ago repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes. But it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the judgment than for you. And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted to heaven, shall be thrust down to hell. He that heareth you heareth me, and he that despiseth you despiseth me, and he that despiseth me despises him that sent me.
No, only him again.
Despises the him that sent me.
Despises him that sent me, which is the Most High. So Jesus Christ is not God. Okay? Jesus Christo is not God. Alright? So just show and prove that. And not to mention, the Mashiach is letting you know. When you guys hear it, forgive seven times, 77 times and stuff. Okay? Yeah, it says forgive, but we're dealing with individuals who don't know. They're ignorant to what's going on. Those are the forgiven ones. But the ones that do know and they continue to keep doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this, you ain't supposed to deal with them. The Mashiach said to woe them. That means cut them loose. Goodbye. You don't have to tolerate that crap. So don't let people sit there and use scriptures to make you feel like to blackmail you and put guilt on your conscience that because you're not dealing with their bull crap and the demons that they don't want to get rid of and the curses that they have on them, they don't want to get rid of them. You don't have to continue to keep dealing with that because it's going to wipe off on you. They still dirty. You're supposed to stay clean. Okay? So that's just a warning for everybody. But what verse was that?
Around 16.
Oh, that was 16? Well, no, you know what? That was it on that, actually. But went a little bit more into it. So, just showing and prove. This is the love that the Most High has for you. He sent prophets, which the Mashiach was, and the King. And the Mashiach took men who believed in him and believed in the Most High and the Ruach. Here it is, they went out into each city trying to teach y'all, to give y'all that love and stuff because they love you, as it says. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Okay? Love thy brethren as thyself when you translate it in Hebrew. Okay? But let's get some more love here. Real love. Go to Luke 22 and verse 35 through 38. And this actually debunks the fact that people who are trying to teach about when it says that the Mashiach says somebody goes to smite you on one cheek, turn the other one and give them the other cheek to smite as well, because you would teach them that. He was talking in a parable. He's not talking about somebody physically beating you. Because if that was the case, then this next scripture that we're going to read contradicts that. Okay? So let's get it. Luke 22. What did I say?
22, verse 35.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he said unto them,
Chapter verse.
Luke chapter 22, verse 35. And he said unto them, When I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lack ye anything?
So did you guys lack anything? No, they didn't, because they got all that. And I know for a fact that happens even when I went out and street teach with some of the brothers. We didn't lack anything. People were bringing water to us. They actually brought money to us when we said we don't collect money. They put it in the books anyways, and so forth and so on. Okay? So it's a known fact. This does happen when you're sincere and genuine of wanting to do the work for the Most High, literally, and not out there trying to get your own gain or make some name for yourself. Okay? When you actually care. In the hoods, not on the downtown inner cities and stuff, what you call highways and byways. No. Go to the Israelites first, then the Gentiles. And stop saying, oh, well, all our people be down there and stuff. So what? Go into the thick of the woods where you don't see not one so-called Gentile in the hood. Go there. Okay? That's where the real healing starts. Because they still running around not knowing who they are. Okay? But go ahead, Art.
And he said unto them, When I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said nothing. Then said he unto them, But now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So wait a second. But now the Mashiach says, he that has a purse, so he got money, whoever got the businesses and stuff, let him take it, and likewise his staff, and he that has no sword, let him sell his garments and buy one. So this contradicts the fact that the understanding or the doctrine that they put out there about smiting each other and let somebody else smite you physically and you don't protect yourself, that's out the window. Because the Mashiach just said, go sell all your garments and buy you a sword. A sword is a weapon that can kill people, okay? But continue reading that.
For I say unto you that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned among the transgressors, for the things concerning me have an end. And they said, Lord, behold, there are 2 swords. And he said unto them, It is enough.
Wait a second. And the disciples came back saying, and they said, King, behold, here are 2 swords. And the Mashiach said unto them, It is enough. So you have 2 witnesses, let everything be established, so forth and so on. Here it is, you have 2 swords for one individual. Why would one individual have 2 swords? It's because if one of your brethren that you have love for don't have a sword to protect himself and his family, guess what? Give it on to him. Which goes to the fact of, if he don't have no clothes, give him the ones off your back. Which goes back into the law. If you borrow him a garment to wear and things, return it back onto him on the day that you say you're going to give it back to him. Because that is for his covering. As it says in the law. Okay? That's love. That's an action. That's not some, oh brother, I just love you, this is how we should be, Nah. No. Stop that stuff. No. And love is with logic, okay? It's supposed to be, but majority of our people don't deal like that. They go based off of just feelings on the emotion part and not even knowing what this person's spirit is looking like, okay? So, but anyways, so we got those 2. Let's back. So as we see, there's brothers. We got 2 and 2. 2 is better than 1, basically. Well, showing why the Most High says we should go by the 2s and things like that, and showing the love that we have for one another. But let's back that up even further. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4, and we'll start at verse 8.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 8. There is one alone, and there is not.
There, verse 8. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. That's my fault. I was in the wrong chapter.
Did you say 30?
No, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 8. I'm sorry. That's my fault. Go ahead.
There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, For whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity. Yeah, it is a sore travail.
So basically, what he's saying here is that when you're alone, you don't. It's a cold world. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, sometimes you got to be alone to strengthen yourself. But in the end process, you need to be with somebody or have somebody around you, or whatever the case may be. Okay, because it says there is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he has neither child nor brother, so he doesn't have a family. Okay, he's constantly working. What is he working for? Because all his riches ain't gonna mean nothing. Because why? It's all for himself. Who's he gonna share it with? He doesn't have nobody to share it with, and things like that. And we see today, as with greedy individuals, that stuff, they be trying to take that stuff to the grave and things like that. They don't try to leave nothing for nobody or whatever the case may be. But this is it's saying, like, for instance, if you have family, right? Family that you love. You have a brother, you got sisters, whatever. You got your mom, your dad, whatever. You got a wife. You have children. You're working. Your labor is for a reason. Okay? Now you look forward to actually maybe wanting to gain more riches because now you have something to spend it on or to pass it down to. That's not vanity. That's actually a great thing. But if you're by yourself and you're just making all this money and things, you're laboring, what is it for then? If you can't spend it on or help anybody else. Okay? So it's basically showing that it has to be other people, okay? But it's gonna break down a little bit more, but go ahead, Ak.
2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor.
So 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. Okay, here we go with 2s again. You're dealing with number 2. You're dealing with mathematics here. Okay, 2s. Okay, 2 heads are better than 1. 2 source of incomes is better than 1. Okay, 2's of everything. All right, here it is. You guys working together. Here's the greatness about it. Now, what can I do to help every individual out if we're paired up? We got more money coming in. We have more ideas. We're helping strengthen one another that's maybe weakened in certain areas. You're looking out for each other's backs, warning them from everything. This is why we have the scripture saying what it is. Okay, that's why we go by the 2. 2 or more witnesses, let all be established. But not only that, it comes with perks. The pros and cons and so forth and so on. All right, working together. Unity. There we go. Unity. Proverbs 6:6, the ant. Okay, unity. Come together, you guys build a whole empire quicker than just one person trying to build an empire. And obviously, we see laboring and stuff. You're going to wear yourself out. You'll kill yourself. You need help. Everybody needs help. Physically. Just on a physical matter, okay? On a physical level. And even on the spiritual as well.
Even the Gentiles understand that. That's why they always building on pyramids and different organizations such as AVON and so forth. They gather people under them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they understand that concept too.
That's right. The water elder, and that's the thing.
Helping us look for them.
Right. In Israel, we ain't even got that. We can't even come together. And yet we got the power in us and the power above us, first and foremost. We have the power above us that put the power in us to do these things. And yet you don't want to unlock them because you don't have no love for your brethren. So when you complaining about you don't have nothing, these scriptures should be popping up in your head. You ain't self-reflecting enough. Okay? So, but continue.
Verse 10. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth. For he hath not another to help him up.
See that? So it's a woe. A woe unto him that's alone. Because when you fall, ain't nobody there to catch you. You know? It's like when they made that commercial, you know, for the elders. I'm falling, and I can't get up. You know? Ain't nobody there, so they make a button.
A doorbell.
Yeah, a doorbell.
Yeah, I seen that.
And so what if that dang doorbell thing, you know, the mechanism malfunctions? You just dead, or whatever the case may be. And you can't move, you can't do nothing. You see how lonely the world is. That's why you need physical people. You need another person there. Okay? But go ahead, Art.
Verse 11. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone?
So right on a physical level, it says, again, if two lie together, they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? Okay? You could be naked with your wife, with your husband. Okay? If you guys are pressing your body towards one another, there's a lot of energy going on in there through your blood and stuff, through the flow and stuff. It creates heat. Okay? You bring yourselves together and stuff, it creates heat. As they call it, body heat. Okay? But try to do that alone without any covers. You're going to be cold. Alright? That's just little stuff, but this is wisdom right here. It just shows and proves. Okay? You have some type of comfort with you. Alright? Well, go ahead.
Verse 12. And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
So now it talks about three individuals. If one prevails against him, then two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Okay? Once again, unity. Twos and threes. You know? Two or more witnesses, let everything be established. Having 2 to 3 witnesses or more, everything can be established. And now you record. So if anybody tries to say that lie, as we read in Deuteronomy, was that 19 and
15 through 20.
Yeah, 19 verse 15 through 20. You know, somebody tries to say you're a false witness, you're a liar, this, that, and the other. Well, you got 3 individuals going against you. Okay?
Got a precept for you.
Yeah. Pull it up.
We were talking about being in twos, right?
Uh-huh.
Genesis 2nd chapter, what is it? 18, verse 18. This is when Adam was being made. Even from the beginning. It says, and the Most High said, it is not good for that the man should be alone, and I will make him a helpmate for him.
So the Most High the Most High said he looked at all the animals, all the other animals, everything they all had partners. You know what I'm saying? They were not alone. So why should it be? And even the Most High wasn't alone. He had the Ruach. You know what I'm saying? The Ruach HaKodesh, and he had HaMashiach before the angels were even created. Okay? Because in the 6th day is when all the hosts of heaven was created, and that's all the angels that were up in the heavens. So when we talk about there was 3 in the beginning, or you want to talk about Proverbs chapter 8, that shows and proves there was no angels in that time before the earth or the heavens were even created. Okay? That's another lesson I'll deal with anyway. But just showing to prove that, like the brother said, you know, Adam shouldn't be without, a partner. He needs a helpmeet, which is his wife. Okay, he created Eve, and here it is. You got two that can do everything. All right? So put your mind to it. Whatever you guys do, hey, it's always two is better than one. All right? But, let me see. Right. No, that's it on that. Let's jump back to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 21. And it's funny you brought that up because it's talking about the wife. What we're getting into is talking about that right now. All right, Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 21 through 33. Start at verse 20 when you get there.
20?
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. 1 second, y'all. What is it? 5?
5 and 20?
Yep. There we go.
Verse 20.
Yep, verse 20.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 20. Giving thanks always for all things unto the Most High and the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Hamashiach Yeshaya. So you're supposed to give all thanks to the Most High. All the praises and blessing and glory goes to the Heavenly Father, not to the Mashiach, okay, or to Jesus Christ. It all says that.
Then he said all things.
Mm-hmm.
Like will always be up. So even when it's down low, you still give him thanks.
Yep. When you're chastised, when you're going through the roughness, like I said, give thanks for the lessons you're learning and for what he's trying to make you see, to understand. Give him thanks for that. Yeah, everything. The trials that you go through, whatever it is, give thanks to. Because that's him allowing that to happen. Okay? Total elder. But continue out.
Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of the Most High.
Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Ahia, or Yahweh, or Yahuwah, or Yah. Okay? So if you submit yourself one to another, meaning that's showing that you got love for one another, because the Most High may be dealing with that individual who's trying to give you some edification on something. And that doesn't just mean believe any and everybody. This goes back to the whole thing of you needed to know the Torah so you could try people's spirits and stuff. Okay? So just don't believe every spirit out there. All right? Be cautious of that. But just showing to prove you submitted yourself to one another. Well, dang, this individual's here to help me with something that I didn't know and I was being stubborn with, and here it is. Day of judgment comes, and you did good, son, for you listened to my messenger that I brought, and bam, here's the messenger, which was your brother that was telling you these things. Or your sister. Okay? So that's just a lesson right there. But go ahead,
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Most High.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Most High. Do not, and I'll repeat this again, if you women are married to your own husband, okay, you shouldn't be watching no brother's lessons and listening to some other man and stuff. Period. You listen to your husband. Now, mind you, if your husband is off as ever and things like that, well, you still have the Torah to still lead you in everything you need to do. Okay? But you shouldn't be going and listening to every other man that's out there and things like that, teaching and stuff, because there's something that man might be off and your husband trying to tell you, you tell him, no, that's not what elder such and such said, or deacon such and such, or bishop da-da-da, or general or captain this and that other. Okay? Now you causing strife in your own family because your husband ain't your head. Those men are your head. And you're asking for war and stress and everything and the jealousy that you bring onto your husband and stuff, as it says in Numbers chapter 5. You bring on that jealousy, that spirit of jealousy on your husband. And guess what? Your husband will be 100% in the right because you brought that on. You're the cause. He's going to be the effect. So when he cusses you out and he has an attitude and he doesn't put no hands on you or anything, and we're not advocating nobody putting hands on nobody, but if he breaks something in the house out of anger because of you, remember, you brought that on yourself. But once again, if that man ain't learned up, then you need to talk to him. There's a way you come at your husband and talk to him that he should get learned up more. He needs to be studying this. If you see him playing a game or doing something else out there, wasting his time on something when he should be studying the word so he could be sharpening it and things, that's what you should be talking to him about. Okay?
Back up.
Go ahead.
Try the spirit by the spirit. You make sure that man who you with is in the Mashiach before you get involved with him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, if you don't do that, then you asking for trouble.
Yep. And that's happening all through Israel as we see today. And all the stories that I hear, because I see it all the time. Okay? There's beatings going on and stuff in Israel. You know, people cheating on one another, committing adultery. Nobody put no vows. And the blame for that is not only on themselves, but also for your so-called leaders that you put your soul salvation into. Because you reject to read the word for yourself because you're too dang lazy. So, there ain't going to be no love there at all. Period. And a lot of y'all will blame the Most High or just walk away from the whole truth because of things are not going your way. Due to your lack of not studying. Okay? But continue, bro.
Verse 23, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
So the Mashiach is subject to the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't. I know it says church, but we know that word is false. We don't deal with that word because all of a sudden y'all start thinking of buildings and all this other titles that come with it and stuff. That's bull crap. Okay, you guys got to read the Greek. You got to read the Aramaic, the Hebrew in the New Testament to understand that's not what it means. Okay, so if the Mashiach is subjected to the people. Okay, it's the same type of love that a husband should have towards his wife as well as his wife's supposed to have towards her own husband. Okay? Or if you're polygynous, wives submit to your one and only husband that you have. Okay? But go ahead, Art.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the assembly and gave himself for it.
Yeah, it says, husbands, love your wives, even as the Mashiach also loved the people and gave himself for it. The reason is because you know dang well, if y'all beating y'all wives and stuff because they got a mouth on them and they doing stuff, not trying to listen to you and things, do yourself a favor. Start punching yourself in your eyes and punching yourself in the nose, not running your head into the wall and, you know, flip all over the table and stuff. You know, do everything you can to yourself. Okay? That's what you should be doing. But normally, if you're putting your hands on your wives, or vice versa, wives putting their hands on their husband and stuff, this shows and proves y'all wasn't even brought together by the Most High at all. And sure as heck, you wasn't even following the Torah. And the principles, even in Proverbs, where it tells you, if she got a mouth on her and stuff, man, be like, I'm out of here. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to divorce her. Just be up out of there. Leave up out of there. You ain't got to say nothing. And she wait until stuff calms down. You come back and she starts snapping again. Bye. Go someplace else.
Don't they hate that even more?
Right. Or I'll give you a jewel. When that if that was to happen, I go mute. I'll go so mute. I've mastered that. I could be mute for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, almost to a whole 6 months to a year. And I've actually done that. That drives the women out of this world crazy. So, yo, you ain't finna disrespect me like that. Okay? And first and foremost, I wouldn't get with nobody that would disrespect you like that in the first place anyways. So that's not love. Okay? But anyways, what verse was that?
25.
Continue. 26.
26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
So just showing the proof, when you're talking to your wife and your brothers and sisters and you're teaching them Torah, it's washing them. It's edifying them with the word and stuff. It's teaching them. So it's making them clean so they won't make those errors against the Most High, against the Ruach HaKodesh, against the Mashiach, and against you and the people, your own nation. Okay? But go ahead, Ak.
That he might present it to himself a glorious people, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that should be holy and without blemish.
Everything is about cleanliness. Okay, with the Most High, as we see this. When you go back into the laws, especially the laws on the priest itself, or when it comes to cleansing anything, read those laws and you might have an idea of what he's talking about here. Okay, I'm not going to bring out every law and stuff like that. I'm not fit to do that. You guys got to do your own homework. Okay? So, and that's not being selfish or not showing love. Okay? Because I could be doing a whole bunch of other things right now instead of being on here trying to teach the word and stuff. Okay? So, that's sacrifice. Alright? But anyways, continue out.
28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherished it, even as the Most High did the people. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
Mind you, I'm going to do a lesson on this later, but mind you, how it says you leave father and mother to be joined onto your wife, to be one. Okay? If your wife, I'm going to say this, if your wife, to the brothers, if your wife is not willing to, let's just say, you say, I'm finna move out the country, right? Away from everything here. If she is not willing to move with you and sit there and talk about, well, I don't know yet, my family and this and that and the other. Dude, don't even get with her. Have those conversations. Don't even get with her because she's still cleaving on to her family. No, she's supposed to cleave on to you. That protection comes for you, not for family no more. If she ain't willing to do that, she's not wife material. Okay? I'll tell you that right off the bat. And I know women will hate me for saying this, but I don't care. You scared. You're afraid of everything else instead of putting your whole trust in your husband, which is your protector and things, physically on this earth. Your provider and things like that. Okay? If you ain't willing to do that, y'all should. You is not ready to be with a husband. And brothers, if you ain't ready to do those things for a wife, you have no business trying to get married. So, something to think about, y'all. We'll continue out.
Verse 30 or 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the people. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reference her husband.
References her husband, not elders and deacons and bishops and so forth and so on. Your own husband, okay? But as we see right here, this verse that we're talking about in this chapter is about loving, clinging on to the Most High, the way we're supposed to do it and stuff. And the way we cleave on to Him is keeping His law, statute, and commandments. It's what cleanses us. It's what keeps us clean. It's what keeps us not bounded or in bondage to those curses. Okay? And as a matter of fact, let's get into the curses real quick. And then it's going to be it for right now. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and start at verse 45.
Okay.
My bad.
I was just right.
And I got like 5 more minutes.
So Deuteronomy
28.
28 and verse 45.
Verse 45. Deuteronomy 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Most High, your God, with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Abundance of all things.
So for the abundance of all things, you're not doing it. You won't do any of these things. This is why it says all things. You're not doing for gladness, not joyfulness. You don't even want to put it towards the Most High. You guys are, majority of y'all putting it towards the people. You're looking for the likes and stuff in the class, like I said before. This is why you guys don't get nowhere. Okay? This is why curses still come upon us. This is why there's still division and stuff, because you're not doing it for the Most High, and you're not putting him first for everything that you do, whether you're sick, whether it's money, whatever it's business, whatever it's traveling, whatever it's children, whatever the family, friends, whatever in the world. You're not putting him first. You're not praying unto him, asking for these things. Okay? That's the reason why you don't get the things that you need or want, when the Most High basically said, I will give you your wants, because he already knows your needs, so he'll give you those as well. Okay? So just showing and prove right there, just in that little section right there, for the abundance of all things. Not some, not the needs, all the wants and the needs. Okay? We'll continue on.
48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Stop right there. So right here, and in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness. Guess what? Ain't no black man owning this this tag we got in the back here. These clothes. No Israelites owning that. The company is making this. The Israelites is not sewing this up or spinning the material, the fabrics together. Okay, here it is. Millionaires, billionaires. You know, all your hungry, all your stuff, your supermarkets is not owned by so-called Israelites. The crops that's bringing in and stuff, they're not done according to the laws on cropping and things, and the livestock and all this and the other. It's not ran by Israelites. You're buying from your enemies. The water right here, pure aqua, purified water, BPA, free, whoever the company is. Ain't no Israelite owning this company. You're buying from your enemies. Okay? The pen, the computer, you're buying from your enemies. The shades, you're buying from your enemies. Curse. But how do you break out of that curse? There's laws in here that tell you how to get out of them. So let's continue reading though.
So I will go over 48 again. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of the cattle and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kine, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
So basically, this goes in Psalms 83, what David wrote. Okay, letting you know it's been happening since then all the way up to now. But go ahead, Ak.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all the land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Most High your power hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, and the flesh of thy sons and thy daughters, which the Most High thy power hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So that the man that is tender among you, and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
Stop right there for a second. When it says about the besieging turning into cannibalism and stuff, notice now, there's reports that they've been putting human meat in the foods and things like that. Okay?
Pepsi.
They're using all these different products from people. Right.
The term that they're using is Cenomix. Senomyx.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what's the enzymes from the babies, from fetuses?
Uh-huh.
That's crap.
Mm-hmm.
All these things. Why that has happened? Because the greediness of our enemies. They've eaten every animal that possibly can. So what are they doing now?
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to make what do you call them? What's the word for fake food? GMOs. There we go. Okay, and a lot of this stuff they do put people in these things. Okay, so how do you break out of those curses? Guess what? Start buying your own animals, livestock, start cropping. Well, why do we do it here? You got to do it here. There's other places in the world you could do this, but you're too scared to leave from here. You scared to leave Egypt. Okay, but continue out. As it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. That's happening, still happening today. So you got a wicked eye towards your own people and towards your own family and so forth and so on. Okay? These are curses. And it's still happening today. Even cats who's conscious in Israel know who they are. You're still doing these things. Okay? But go ahead, Ak.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left in him in the siege. And in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon thy ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
Mm-hmm. Still happening. Go ahead, Ak.
And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly, in siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates.
Mind you, this talks about cannibalism and stuff, but there's another way of doing this. It's called using your children as cash cows. Okay? You sell them just to satisfy your own need. Okay? That's in another form of eating them and things like that. Same exact stuff. But let me tell you something. They cut off all this food supply and all this and that and the other, and not one of y'all know how to hunt and things like that, and there's no animals running around and stuff, you're going to turn into doing that. That's the reason why, well, I said, believe it or not, that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't stay here. Also, too, you came to collect rainwater and so forth and so on, because you get fined and thrown in jail for all these different things. So why stay here? Just saying. But anywho, continue out.
If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of the law that are written in this book,
No, just the commandments.
all the law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Most High your power, then the Most High will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long consciousness as continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance.
So he said you'll make your plagues, your diseases, all this stuff wonderful. You'll love them. That's a problem. I don't love these things, but a lot of y'all do, because you ain't trying to follow his word completely. You know, people still doing stuff on the Shabbat and all this and that and the other, breaking it left and right, leaving their houses, you know, doing all these different things, teaching on the Sabbath when you're not supposed to be doing those things. And if you guys question me on that, go read the Hebrew of what it says from all thy works on the Sabbath. You'll see what it'll say about not doing anything. And ministering is works. The only one that is excused from that is the high priest and the two priests that's in the office. That's it. Okay? Period. So you guys shouldn't even be doing any teachings on the Sabbath. So if you're out there street teaching on the Shabbat, no, you had 6 days to do that. Well, how they're not going to know? Yeah, they will. 6 days before the Shabbat, you got plenty of time to tell them that you shouldn't be out here buying, selling, and doing all these different things. Prep your food before that sun sets on Friday. The Passover lamb, all the holy feast days. Prep all that stuff before sunset. Period. Once again, you're in the law. You touch a dead carcass of any animal and stuff that's the blood, guess what? If you're prepping that during the Shabbat, you're unclean. These are all in the laws.
You have intercourse before Shabbat.
You're unclean. Right. Well, if you do have intercourse before the Shabbat, and then you wash up, and you wash the blankets or whatever you guys did it on and stuff. Before evening, sunset, you're clean. Or you're unclean. So you got to get that stuff done before the sunset, then you're clean. All right? But continue out. Yeah.
Verse 60, moreover, he will bring upon all thy disease of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. And every sickness and every plague, which is not written in this book of this law, them will the Most High bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Most High your power. And it shall come to pass that, as the Most High rejoiced over you to do you good, and to multiply you, so the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you, and to bring you to naught.
Wait. Read that part again. The Most High will rejoice over what?
To destroy you.
The Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you. But God is all loving. He will never do anything like that. The Most High is laughing while He's doing this to you. He's rejoicing. It's fun. It's funny. You guys do not know the power you talking about you serve out here. You really don't know. Okay? But continue. I just wanted to point that part out. Go ahead.
And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from one end to the earth, even unto the other. And there shall they serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. For the Most High give thee their trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
You shall fear day and night, worried about every little thing that could happen or may happen and things like that. This is why you in the mindset that you in. You don't fear the Most High. So you're showing that you don't love Him. Because if you loved Him, you following His law, statute, and commandments shows that you're fearing Him. And that's the action of the love. So therefore, that's the reason why a lot of y'all be doubting stuff. Well, I don't know about we should go over there. It might be not safe and stuff. Dude, what you dealing with, man? You got fear. You got the stench of fear all over you. Don't you got love for your brother? If anything was to happen or something, I got your back. Don't worry. We both gonna get down no matter what the numbers may be. See? So y'all need to really do some self-checking on self. But continue out. Anyone done?
67. In the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, Would God it were morning, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto them.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for slave men and slave women, and no man shall buy you or redeem you. So these are laws that's going on. No man is going to come save you. Nobody. But guess what? The Most High does put out saviors out there by the twos, or even more by the twos, to teach you the law, statute, and commandments so you can get up out of those bondages. Ones that's already free from those bondages. Okay? But you have to humble yourself. You have to open your ears and be, take correction when you can. That's love. But anyways, we're going to come back next week, Most High willing. We'll start off in Romans 13. And, like I said again, I hope you guys got some more knowledge and wisdom and understanding. And I hope it helps y'all through your walk and everything. And like I said, it's the love that I'm showing on to y'all to take the time out to doing things, because I really believe this. I really believe in the Most High. I have love for the Most High. I know I mess up a lot of times too, and I'm not perfect all the way, but I'm changing to, I learn from my mistakes and things. Okay? So as I learn from my mistakes and gain the experience, that's why I can share on to y'all. So anyways, much love to y'all, Yesha Allah and world. And I'm Brother Ezekiel.
I'm Brother Javier.
And we saying shalom.
Shalom.